I thought I knew how to use the law of attraction, until the universe showed me the shock between theory and vibrational reality. There is a silent, almost embarrassing moment that happens within us when we realize that what we have studied, repeated, and sworn we understood is not really working as we imagined. You believed that repeating affirmations and maintaining positive thoughts would be enough. You did your vibrational homework with discipline, but little by little, the universe began to show a different reflection, as if to say, you are saying one thing, but vibrating another. Bruce Lipton calls this factory programming. It is not enough to plant the seed of desire if the emotional soil is still soaked with inherited beliefs, with old stories you didn't even know you carried. It's like trying to make a flower grow in contaminated ground. The intention is pure, but the internal environment does not support its blossoming. Joe Dispenza reminds us that manifestation does not respond only to thought. It responds to the electromagnetic signature of your emotional state. It is the heart and brain working in coherence that send the right signal to the field, not just the mental repetition of a beautiful phrase. Thinking you know how to use the law of attraction without aligning the internal source code is like trying to change a movie by erasing the screen, not the projector. You tamper with the surface, but the story remains the same, projected by old patterns that remain active, and the universe, which neither judges nor punishes, simply reflects, continues to return exactly the frequency you sustain, even if it contradicts what you think you desire. There was a time when you believed you had understood the secret. You repeated positive phrases, imagined perfect scenarios, and felt that, at any moment, the universe would open the doors to everything you wanted. But then, something happened. Life, with its silent wisdom, began to show a different reflection. It was not punishment. It was not cruelty. It was a mirror that reflected not only what you thought, but mainly what you vibrated. Bruce Lipton talks about the factory programming we inherit. It's like being born with a garden where the seeds of abundance are ready to sprout, but the soil still holds invisible residues from a time when scarcity was the only possible reality. You plant the desire, but the roots do not find fertile ground. The words may say one thing, but the internal earth whispers another. Joe Dispenza explains that it is not enough to send a thought to the universe. What creates is the coherence between what you think and what you feel. It is the heart and brain pulsating in harmony, emitting a vibrational signature that the field responds to. Without this coherence, the thought is just noise, and the vibration continues to transmit the old frequency. Trying to use the law of attraction only on the surface is like trying to change a movie by erasing the screen without touching the projector. You can change the external images, but if the real inside remains the same, the story repeats itself. The universe is not deceived. It does not judge. It simply reflects, and most of the time, the truest reflection is not in what you say you want, but in what your body, your chemistry, and your emotions already believe to be real. The invisible error, confusing desire with vibration. Many believe that it is enough to want something intensely for reality to take shape, but wanting, by itself, is just a whisper on the surface. The vibration is the subterranean river that truly moves the landscape. You can mentally repeat, "I am prosperous," while deep down, your body trembles with the fear of not having enough. And it is this trembling, not the phrase, that the universe hears. There is a subtle and powerful difference between imagining and feeling is real. Imagining is like painting a picture and leaving it hanging on the wall. Feeling is real is stepping inside the painting and walking through the scenery, breathing the air, hearing the sounds, touching the walls of this new life. It is in this sensory immersion that the vibration begins to change. Many signs reveal when a desire is only mental. The anxiety that arises when thinking about the future, the tightness in the chest when looking at a bank balance, the silent comparison with others' lives. These are indications that, behind the beautiful words, there is a frequency of lack, an expectation that something from the outside will come to fill the void within. When desire and vibration speak different languages, there is no bridge that can unite them. It's like tuning the radio to one frequency and expecting to hear another station. The sound that comes through is not what you wanted, but it is exactly what you were broadcasting. And until the two, desire and vibration, begin to speak the same energetic language, the echo will continue to return the same old melody. The trap of performative visualization. There are moments when spiritual practice loses its soul and becomes just a rehearsed gesture. Visualization, which should be a living dive into the desired reality, turns into a theater to try to convince the universe. It's like smiling for a photograph while, inside, the heart is tired. On the outside, the scene looks correct. On the inside, the energy does not correspond. When the intention is born from obligation or fear, The subconscious mind perceives the incoherence. It knows that you are trying to paint a blue sky over a storm that is not yet dissipated, and since the vibration responds to what is true within, this mechanical effort becomes neutral, incapable of moving the field. People who visualize prosperity but vibrate in the fear of losing what they already have end up creating an energetic paradox. The field does not receive a clear order, but a confused signal. I want more, but I'm afraid of losing. It's like stepping on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. The car doesn't move forward, it just wears out the internal gears. True visualization is not a performance to prove that one is doing it right. It is an intimate state, where every imagined detail is felt in the body as if it were already real. It is closing your eyes and, for a few minutes, forgetting that you are just dreaming, because the internal experience becomes so vivid that the mind cannot tell the difference. It is then that the vibration changes, and the field begins to respond. The emotional physics behind blocked manifestations. There is a silent truth that few dare to face. It is not just the mind that manifests, it is the entire body. Every cell carries memories, beliefs, and emotions that shape the vibrational field even before a thought is formed. Bruce Lipton explains that our deepest beliefs, recorded in the subconscious, alter biology so directly that the body begins to emit a signal coherent with what it believes, not with what it says it wants. When this signal is contaminated by fear, the internal chemistry changes. Cortisol levels rise, the heart races, the breath shortens. It is as if the body enters survival mode. And in this state, the creative energy that could shape the future retracts, because all internal attention is focused on protecting, not expanding. The desire remains alive in the mind, but the message the body sends to the field is that it is not safe to receive. For manifestation to happen, the body needs to feel safe. It's like opening the windows of a house. You only do it when you know that the environment outside is safe and welcoming. Without this feeling, the doors remain closed, even in the face of opportunities. The emotional physics of manifestation is simple and profound. The universe responds to the sum of what you think, feel, and vibrate. A positive thought charged with internal tension dissolves into the air, but a calm intention, sustained by a body that breathes in peace, creates a clear, sharp beam of energy, impossible for the field to ignore. It is at this point that reality begins to move. When the universe corrects the route beyond your control, sometimes what you interpret as loss, delay, or even rejection is, in fact, a silent adjustment by the universe. It is as if an invisible hand is moving pieces on the board so that you do not arrive at the wrong destination, even if, at the moment, it seems to be the only possible path. These detours are not punishments. They are realignments. Know and wait have their own vibration. When you receive them without resistance, they function as signs that the field is repositioning circumstances so that your manifestation can happen on more fertile ground. To resist this is like trying to row against the current. The exhaustion is enormous and the progress almost non-existent. To accept is to allow the river itself to lead, trusting that the direction is safe, even without seeing the destination. Frustration is natural, but it can be transmuted. Instead of asking, "Why didn't it happen?" allow yourself to feel vibrational curiosity. What is the universe preparing that I cannot yet see? This change in questioning opens up internal space for new ideas, encounters, and paths to emerge. When you surrender to this invisible dance, you realize that controlling is not always the way. Often the true power lies in letting go, breathing, and observing. Because it is in this space between what is desired and what is received that the universe works with the most precision. Manifestation begins in cellular silence. Before something changes in the world around you, something needs to change profoundly within you, not just in the mind, but in the most silent and ancient layers of your being. Bruce Lipton explains that this real transformation happens when the subconscious is reprogrammed at the biological and emotional base. It's like changing the roots of a tree. You don't see the process on the surface, but you know that future vitality will depend on it. Joe Dispenza points out that uniting a clear intention with an elevated emotion creates a state capable of imprinting the new reality onto the quantum field. It is not just imagining, but feeling with such depth that the entire body recognizes it as truth. It is when every cell begins to vibrate to the rhythm of what you want to experience. The secret is not in waiting for the big event that will prove it worked, but in creating small daily experiences that internally confirm this reality. A gesture, a breath, a thought cultivated with care, All of this builds the field where the future will become present. Manifestation is not a prize that the universe gives to those who ask the hardest. It is the natural reflection of who you become. It is not the universe that grants. It is you who, step by step, feeling by feeling, transforms into the version capable of living what you have always desired. The invisible error, confusing desire with vibration. We often believe that wanting something is the same as already being in tune with it, but the universe does not respond to what we ask for only with words or mental images. It responds to what we feel as truth in the body, to what we emit in silence, in the interval between thoughts. It is there that the difference is revealed. You can desire prosperity while deep down, vibrating the fear of losing the little you have. You can dream of love while the energy you sustain is that of loneliness. Desire and vibration do not speak the same language when the heart does not accompany the mind. To imagine is to create a beautiful picture on the wall of consciousness, but to feel is what builds the house where that reality can exist. Desire may live in the future, but vibration lives in the present. And if the present is steeped in anxiety, lack, or distrust, the field around you registers that signature as your true frequency. Recognizing this is not about guilt. It is about clarity. It is realizing that it is not enough to paint the perfect scenery in the mind if the emotional soil still bears the marks of an arid season. It is in this contrast that many get lost. They confuse the brightness of the idea with the light that truly warms and sustains a new reality. The trap of performative visualization. There is a subtle point at which spiritual practice ceases to be a deep dialogue with the universe and becomes a performance. It is when visualization, instead of being a moment of genuine connection, turns into a mechanical act to convince something outside of us to grant our requests. In this state, the heart does not participate, only the mind creates images, while the body carries the silent tension of fear, haste, and uncertainty. The subconscious mind perceives this incoherence. It knows when you are trying to paint the sky with colors you do not feel inside, and in this mismatch, the vibration loses its strength. It's like trying to turn on a lamp with disconnected wires. The image is there, the desire is clear, but the energy does not flow to illuminate it. This misalignment is more common than it seems. People visualize prosperity but spend the entire day thinking about debts. They repeat mantras of love but close themselves off for fear of getting hurt. They mentally create a radiant future but vibrate the attachment to what they do not want to lose. And so, even with the best intentions, the energetic field registers the dominant frequency, that of scarcity and defense. True visualization is not a spectacle to impress the universe. It is an internal dive where mind and body unite in the same music, creating a unique sound that the field recognizes as truth. It is then that the practice ceases to be a performance and becomes a living presence.